voice makes me want to be a singer real bad.
That voice.
Oh, hey.
Hey, now.
Remember my audition?
She auditioned to be a pop star.
Yeah, I did. It was awful. It was so
bad.
You're a rich girl.
We have to post
We're going to post that eventually. It's mortifying, but
worth it.
Worth it.
Rise and shine. It's time for D. It's for drama.
D is for drama.
There she goes.
There's my singing voice.
Today I am joined by, you know her, you love her, Kenzie Harr.
Hello.
Welcome. Well, actually, officially welcome to D is for Drama.
Thank you. I know. I'm so excited and honored to be here.
Of course. I've had her a couple times on the old podcast.
Right.
But can't wait to have you on mine.
I'm so excited
Here we
to be
are.
here. Here we
don't
are.
have to wait any longer because it's happening.
It's here. It's here.
So we're friends from LA, but Kenzie is a little vagabond and she is always just fluttering here, floating in there.
Yep. Fluting in, fluting out. All the time.
And where are you going now? She stopped by LA.
I did for a quick minute, and I'm off to Australia tonight and then Bali, and then I love to book one-ways and just see where the wind takes me.
And then you're going to the Hamptons.
Then I'm in the Hamptons
to
working
work
for the summer because, I need a job.
Doing the same thing that she did in Aspen this year, which was basically bottle service, I guess, right?
Cocktailing, for rich people.
For rich people. So today we are talking about dimming our light. Don't dim it, honey.
Don't do it. Don't ever do it. It's gross. Honestly, it's disgusting.
So this was inspired last week, as I'm sure you all watched, the White Lotus.
Right.
And I made a TikTok about why everyone was stands of Chelsea and Rick, because I went back and I watched, she's pointing to herself because she was one. And I went back and I watched the first couple episodes before the finale came out. And I was like, he really is just such a dick to her. He is not lifting her up. I know he was going through a lot.
Right.
But basically, it's like this couple, if you guys didn't watch the show, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, it's the best.
And he was going through a lot of inner turmoil. So I will give him a griever pass, as we say. But she's just like this joyous, bright light of a young lady and is always like so positive and like, let's go out tonight. Let's have fun. I love you. You're my soulmate. Like saying all these beautiful things. So when he's just like basically telling her to shut the fuck up with his eyes.
My type, exactly.
And so when Kenzie was coming into town, I'm like, what better topic to talk about with this lovely, bright, vibrant young lady than this one, because that is her type, honey.
It was not anymore.
Yeah, not
We've
anymore.
Moved on to greener pastures.
That's right.
But yeah, no, I think this has been a constant for me, and I will say, the yin and the yang, like dark does attract light, and vice versa. You know what I mean?
Well, they did have that little symbolism at the end of the movie when they're laying face up, and there was a little yin and yang going on there.
I feel like I'm similar to Chelsea in that Rick he's such a like pessimist and all this stuff, and I'm like so intrigued by it because I'm the opposite, and so I want to like. I'm like, oh, it comes
you want
back
to like win them over,
exactly,
basically.
And you want to help them. You want to,
You want to fix them.
I'm a fixer.
She's a fix. I don't know that that's worked for you.
It's never worked.
I haven't met a single guy you've.
I haven't. I probably made them worse, to be completely honest. But at the beginning, I tried really hard. Yeah, really hard.
Yeah, I think it's also like wanting their approval. I feel like I do definitely think that opposites do attract.
Yeah.
But I just do not like men dimming women's light.
No.
And I think that women can do it to other women as well. And
Absolutely.
maybe we can do a whole episode on that.
Yes.
Yeah, but this one's about men dimming women's light.
Yeah. Because they do it like in a very blunt way. That's just everyone else can see it, and I even see it. But I'm still like. It's weird because I feel like once you do get their approval, or they are like, kind of like applauding you, then it means more than, everyone else just automatically doing that.
Yeah. You're fighting for it more.
Right.
Which I think is a product of the patriarchy, because women are always, hopefully not anymore, but tend to seek the approval of those monster men.
I do, or I did. I'm changing my ways.
She's
Okay,
changing
I'm
her
growing
ways
up.
a little bit at a time.
Tiny.
So we've got somebody here
Yes.
who is asking, anyone else seem to attract men who dim your spark? Ding, 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 ding.
Present.
She goes, I got out of a long-term, very happy relationship recently and had forgotten how hard it is for me to date. I attract and always have loads of men who are drawn to my ADHD-ness
Oh.
initially, but are very annoyed later when they cannot change me into a responsible, meek caregiver
Meek.
they want as a partner. They'd gladly take all of the positive sides of me, happy, active, entertaining, and seem to think that they can, quote, fix the aspects of me they deem negative. It's very tiring as these people seem very accepting at the start, but the guilt tripping, manipulation, and insinuating I should be different starts later when they think it's harder for me to leave. I'm becoming a bit paranoid with weeding these individuals out before I've wasted time on someone who doesn't accept me. Just my potential, who they think I could be if I just, quote, tried harder. Is anyone else experiencing this? And how do you navigate dating?
Ooh, yes. The being attracted and drawn into your ADHD-ness and that kind of like vibrant, bright, like like it's an energy thing.
Mhm.
And I think always at the start, it's very enticing. And then,
Intoxicating,
it
if you
is.
will.
Yeah. And then once you get one-on-one with that person and because with a person who suffers severely with ADHD, you
Mhm.
can't tone that down. It's really hard just even one-on-one to bring that down. You're like, this is me all the time. And they can't handle it. They're like, whoa, I thought that this was only you out in public or whatever. And they
Yeah,
freak out.
they want it. Maybe they like that when you're out and about, but when
Right.
you come home, they want you to tone
Yeah,
it down,
exactly.
basically.
Exactly. Because I think a lot of people that don't suffer with ADHD just go out and they can have that energy and then come home and rejuvenate and chill or whatever. But I know for me, I'm pretty much still the same when I go home. I still have like a lot of energy and I'm blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
And they don't like that. They don't understand it. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Can't you just be someone else?
So when you were home with your ex,
Yeah.
they would want you to tone it down even when it was just the two of you home alone? Or
I
was it more when you were out and about?
When I was out and about, sometimes, like if I was getting a lot of attention, and then there would always be fights of like, you just go out and you just are getting attention from people, you seek attention, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, this is just how I am,
Mhm.
and I would love for my man to give me that attention when I'm at home,
Boost me up.
yeah. And be like, go girl, like be your cheerleader or whatever. And usually it was like, they were almost like scolding me, you know?
Yeah, like acting like your dad.
Yeah, exactly. But my dad is not like that. So it's like, what? Why are you scolding how I am or who I am?
Yeah.
Why are you with me?
So they were kind of doing it in both scenarios
Yeah.
because they didn't like you getting attention over them, or just because they were jealous you were getting attention from other
I
guys?
think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think it takes a very, very secure man to be completely okay with how you are, and if you do get attention from guys, like I think it's so attractive when your man is like,
Secure.
that's my woman. Like, of course other guys are looking at her. Of
Mhm.
course they are. Like, she's amazing,
Yes.
instead of being like, stop that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Well, I remember your ex because I knew him. You've had two exes recently.
Yes.
We will not say their names, but one was quite a long time in LA.
Yeah.
And this was one thing I did not like about him, was that, yeah, it felt like he couldn't handle, because Kenzie, I always say, you demand and command attention because she gets it either way, because
Right.
she's so beautiful and she's so vibrant and
Thank you.
fun and dancy and all of those things, but also you love it as well.
I love it. Yeah. And once I get a little taste of that, once I get the crowd going, I feel like it's like similar to a comedian, like you land a good joke, then you want to keep going and keep
Yes.
going and keep going.
Totally.
Yeah. And it is hard, I guess, once you start getting that, to stop. And I know I've taken it too far. And I've understood that. I'm like, yeah, that was crazy. Like me getting up on the bar and dancing and getting kicked out and then coming back in and getting back up on the bar.
I see no problem there.
See, exactly. And your girlfriends don't. But guys are like just mortified, like can't even believe. And I'm like, I get it. But, you know, you should be like, get back up there, girl.
Exactly. Stop like trying to control the situation
Right.
so much because it doesn't reflect on you. Like, I'm doing my own thing. Leave me alone. Like, I would understand if you were like aggressively flirting with somebody and like, okay, that does
Right.
cross a line. But if you're just like being fun and having a good time, and then to have like a wet blanket who's trying to
Whoa.
pull you off the dance floor. I mean, tell the
No.
story about him and your birthday.
I, sort of encouraged the crowd to sing happy birthday at the very end. The bar was closing and like just got everyone to chime in. I started my own happy birthday song.
Of course.
Which that is a little bit over the top. I could see that.
No.
But everyone did.
We
and
love
it was
this about you. She's a birthday
exactly.
brat.
I'm a birthday brat.
September's her birthday month.
9/11. Yeah, is my birthday.
9/11.
So
So she really had like the biggest attention in the whole nation taken away from her. So I
Right.
think she deserves for the rest of her life to get all of the attention on that day.
that month. Yeah.
The whole month.
But yeah, and so I got everyone to sing happy birthday. And I saw my ex, in the room, and he was just so annoyed, so annoyed. It was right after the song ended, and he goes, "It's not even her birthday." And I was like,
Such a bitch.
are you joking? I was mortified. And this is a person that I'm like,
You're supposed to love me the most in the whole room.
exactly. But then everyone else is loving me, and you're like, nope, nope, nope. Like
No.
it's
Jealous, bitch.
yeah, and it's mortifying.
Jealousy.
And also I've found that in the past with who I've dated, and when I go out, I think women have such a good time with their girlfriends because we are always lifting each other up. Like we're the ones that are like, get back up on the bar, keep going. Like I'm gonna record it,
Yeah.
But guys, and there's been very few of my girlfriends and their boyfriends that I've liked because I've seen them just shut them down. It reminds me of that episode you did of like, we hate our friends' boyfriends,
Oh, yes.
because it's true. It's very difficult to find such a secure man to make you feel the way that your girlfriends make you feel and lift you up instead of like, shh, 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 shh.
And I think it's just like inherent in them because of the
from what?
society that we live in, because of the patriarchy. I really do think it's because
yeah.
they think that they can. I think it really is that it's like kind of the last little bit of control that they have
Right.
over us still,
Right.
because they really don't anymore.
No, and they don't like that.
And they
They're
don't like
losing
that.
it.
And I think it's the best of guys that still do it. And I know it's hashtag not all men. I know that
Right.
there's a ton of men out there that really are like uplifting. But even my dad, who I think is one of the greatest guys ever, he still does stuff like this where my sister, my mom, and I are like just dancing in our house to music. And he's like, all right, girls, settle down, settle down. And I called him today because I had made these TikToks like last week, and he kept sending them to the group chat because I had mentioned them in him. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, explain yourself. I'm like, how about you reflect then?
Yeah.
And so then I called him today and I was like, okay, can you actually explain to me like what's going through your head when
Right.
you're doing that? And he basically was just like,
This will be interesting.
I know. So he says, I don't know. I guess it kind of feels like it looks like it's chaotic. So I just like want it to be sort of like taken down a few notches. It's almost like controlling the environment and like being a dad, basically.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, but what about when we're just doing it at home? And it's like,
Right.
well, it's just like, it's a lot. When people are being rambunctious, I just feel like it's like, okay, let's settle down.
Does he feel left out? You think?
No, because he could totally join and he's just not like a dancey, singy
Right.
person. I guess I understand that if it's in public and so you don't want other people
Yeah, that makes more sense.
getting frustrated.
Right.
Like, I can't even count how many times like I've been at a restaurant and we're just like loud as fuck, like laughing
Yeah.
our asses off. And then you like look over and people are dusting and you're like, oh shit, I didn't even realize like how
Right,
annoying I was
right.
being. But I'm like, but you do it to us when we're at home alone. And I guess he just more like, well, yeah, it's just like a little bit, just need to calm you guys down. I was like, but for whose sake? And he's like, well,
Yeah.
for myself. And And I'm like, okay, so it's kind of feeling like you need to like control us or something.
Right.
And he basically was just saying how he's like, well, that's just how it is. Like, I'm the head of the house, like I'm the dad. And I was like, okay, but do you feel like you would do this if you had boys?
Oh.
And he was like, well, it's hard for me to say, but like my dad did this with us. Like, he's 3 boys and 3 girls. Like, my dad always did this with us. Like, remember, he would do that with you grandkids too. And so that's why I was wondering, like, does your dad do this because you have brothers and
Right.
sisters? Like,
No, my dad chimes in, and that's why it's been
he's like the party
he's the
animal.
party, he loves it. When we're having the best time, my dad is right up in there and doing the same thing. He absolutely loves it. Loves it. He wants to be included and everything, and that's why it's been difficult to, find men that are similar to my dad that like love you being you and all you are and
Mhm.
lifting you up and joining in. And or just like if he knows that you're having your moment to shine, he sits back and he's like, that's my girl,
Loving
which
it.
I want. That's so
You need to find
attractive.
someone like your dad.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I know my dad is super supportive of me. It's just like he definitely was raised, like, now that I'm thinking about it more, like, like, my papa was always like, oh my God, if the little kids were running around, like the
He
grandkids,
would,
like, he
yeah.
would lose his shit. He
Right.
just wanted like a calm environment.
Control.
Control. That's what it is.
It feels a little like
And
control.
maybe some of you guys are out there listening, like, I definitely don't do this, and like my husband doesn't do this, or my boyfriend
Right.
doesn't do this, but like I'm almost wondering, because you and I are both like rambunctious, how many
Right.
times am I gonna say this? But like, we are people like that then we attract people who are opposite of us,
Light
or
and
we
dark.
like people that are
Yeah.
a little bit opposite of us, that aren't like taking the spotlight like your
Right.
dad.
Yeah, I like women that are like me more so, but my history has shown that I don't like men like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, at the beginning, they're into that. It's something shifts. Once they get comfortable, then they feel like, okay, now I'm gonna let you know how I really feel about you acting like that. And I don't like it.
Yeah. And I mean, I definitely will say, like, Max is very supportive and he loves, like, I just went to a concert this weekend for my birthday, and he was like videotaping me because he knew it was like my favorite. And
Love.
and he was very much enjoying watching me enjoy it.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, he's super uplifting, very supportive of me. Like, if anything, wants me to shine more.
Hot.
But there definitely are times where I feel a little bit like he is like, okay, let's head out, or like, all right, let's get off the dance floor. All right,
No.
And to me, it almost feels like he's prioritizing his own like needs or comfort over
Right.
like me. I'm clearly having an amazing time. So it is a very nuanced topic, because I know that there are different times for different things. Like, obviously, sometimes, like, if my dad is just like, oh my God, like, girls, can you turn it down? My
Right.
fucking
Right.
hearing aids are killing me right now, or like, I want to go to sleep.
Exactly.
I'm trying
I
to
have a
wind
need.
down.
Yeah.
And I can say that with Max too. Like, are definitely times where I am being like insane at home, being really hyper and goofy. And he's like, okay, like, let's just bring it
Yeah.
down because I want to go to sleep. So I think it isn't always such a malintended thing for
Right.
them. I think there are certain situations where it can be like jealousy or just annoyance, or I do think that there's a level of control that these men still feel like they need to have over us ladies.
Okay, but I have a question for you now.
Tell me.
Tell me. Have you ever dated or been with a guy that is, acts like that, and have you ever tried to dim their light?
My situationship, he was like basically my boyfriend, but we never made it exclusive in college.
Hate that.
He was an Aries, which Aries men are a little scary. God
dating
bless
one.
the men that are born right now, the little baby boys.
I
But
love the Aries. Well, the one right now.
and I am an Aries, so
Exactly.
But
so
I have
she can
met
say that.
a few men who are a little nutty that are Aries, but he was very much fun loving, super goofy, liked attention and things
Yeah.
like that. But no, like, we fed into each other.
Okay, so
and
you
we
would
loved it.
join in. You wouldn't
Oh,
be like,
yeah.
you would never be like, okay, babe, that's like tone it down. We hate that term, the
No.
tone it down. Ugh.
No, I wouldn't, because I liked it. Like, I
Yeah.
was like, but also to be fair, he and I were just like very casual college relationship,
Okay.
where it was like we never got into like really serious shit.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't living together. We didn't even go to the same
Right.
college. So like, part of me is like, I didn't really have to like deal with that on a daily basis. So I am wondering if it would be different if we were adults and that was going
yeah.
on. Actually, To be fair, now that I'm thinking about that,
Yeah.
there are certain times where Max will be like on one and he's way more rambunctious than I am and more
Oh,
drunk,
right.
especially now that I don't
Yeah.
drink. And actually, to be fair, I do think that there are times where I'm like,
You're like, oh, this is
okay,
annoying. Yeah,
rolling
like
my eyes, or like, I'm just going to
right.
go home. Or yeah, I think maybe there's some times that I've told him to settle down. So
You know, that's why I was thinking about that. I was like, wait, I've never reversed this
yeah,
actually,
it's like we're always
because
just
we're
about the
always,
ladies.
and we're always like, mainly over the top. And like, I guess I would relate that too to like guys with their partying where you're like, okay, this is like, but it's enhanced by partying, not necessarily just like they're trying to put on a show or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's also one thing, like, I feel like I'm very inclusive when I'm on one and I'm, am being wild and fun and crazy and like doing an accent. Like, if you chime in with an accent and that's what my girlfriends will do or meet me at that
It's her love
level.
language.
Yeah, it is. When they meet me at that level, then it's really fun. And I'm always inviting and open to guys doing that as well, but they just don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they invited me to do that and meet them on that level, if I was in the mood.
Did you ever date anyone like that though? Where you would get annoyed by them? Or if they were
I,
on one?
actually, yes. Yes, my high
High
school boyfriend,
school
yeah, we had the same kind of energy
energy.
level, and like we were very similar. Like, I was the dancer and he was the football player, and we both got like a lot of attention in our own,
Mm-hmm.
and we actually,
Oh, you would compete for
oh
it?
yeah, and we butt heads, and it did not, like, same thing happened. And my mom always would say that. She goes, I think that he was trying to dim you because he wanted to be the star. He wanted to be the,
Okay, yeah, because it
yeah,
can happen that way too.
right.
One of the comments said, right, like, how come you liked it before we became a couple? Now I'm
Mm,
embarrassing. You chased me. Make it make sense. It is true. Like, why is it something that they
at the
like in the
beginning.
beginning?
Well, I think that comes down to maybe like the honeymoon phase a
Yeah.
little bit, because also you're probably not letting it all out at the very beginning. I mean, I actually have
Yeah.
recently, and I've kind of been testing the waters, like, with this new guy, just to be like, oh, is he going to be like, whoa, tone it down,
Yeah.
and
Because you got to let your freak flag fly
right at the
immediately.
beginning, or else you're wasting your time, and mine has flown.
I know, like, if I were to ever, like, my situation changed and I would have to start dating again, like, I would be so much more assertive with, like, who I
Right.
was as a person and what I needed
Exactly.
from a relationship than I was when I was 24 when I entered in
Hmm.
the relationship with Max.
Right.
Because then your relationship becomes, what was set in place when you were 24 years old. And it's like,
Right.
I'm changing, honey. And luckily we've been
Exactly.
able to grow together, but there definitely are some things where I'm like, damn it. I wish I didn't
Yeah.
say I was chill with that in the beginning.
Exactly, because I'm definitely not. I know. And at the beginning, you're just kind of gathering information.
Hmm.
And if you see that in a person, like, you just let that be known, because so much can change after the honeymoon phase. Like,
Mm.
I've tended to become like a little bit more bitchy after the honeymoon phase is over.
Oh
I'm
yeah, of
like,
course. You can't
we're
let
all like,
you
yeah, you
can't let
can't let
them
them
know
see that.
that.
No, I have no moods at the beginning. I'm just
You're
happy all
just
the
perfect.
time.
Well, another comment says it's the manic pixie dream girl trope. They want the exciting girl without any of the negative and deeper qualities that are intrinsically linked to the exciting parts.
Ooh, we're
It's
going
like
deep.
the speech from the Barbie movie. You should be passionate but not emotional. You should
Mm.
be spontaneous but totally stable. You should be creative but organized. You should plan cool dates but only when he isn't tired. You should share his hobbies but have none of your own. You should get along with his friends, but not too well. So another comment here says that's because movies have painted the fun girl as the one who eventually slows down and not the fun girl at parties who gets drunk. The one who wants to climb a mountain, who works on a project, who can talk until early hours about nothing because she's just so interesting. We
Oh.
share a lot of benefits of Hollywood's fun girl. The reality is that's just the chaos and sometimes cool bits of ADHD. But then when the cliche dream guy comes along, the fun girl just wants to be around this dude, and none of what she did before matters because he's the dream guy she's been distracting herself for. Then we get fixed or dumped for not slowing down, or we end up with ones who don't want to settle down because the fun never stops, even though we're like, I want to get married and have kids, etc.
I relate to that a little bit. Like when you are like a new guy, you know, like your interests sometimes shift a little bit and you are into what the guy likes. Like
Oh,
I definitely, and that's another honeymoon phase sort of a thing, you know?
definitely.
Yeah.
Which I do think in a lot of ways it is healthy to start to get interested in what your partner likes. Like,
Right.
I think that's showing a sign of
Yeah.
love because you're like, well, I never gave fishing a try, but hey, let's go
But
do it.
exactly, let's try it.
I think lying and being like, oh, yeah, I've been fishing since I was 4.
That's crazy.
But I do think trying out new things for your partner can be
Yeah.
a great thing.
Exactly. And you're way more willing to do that at the beginning. There's so much openness at the
I
beginning
know.
of a,
It would
know,
be
I love
great if the
it.
honeymoon phase lasted forever. I mean, I know you don't end up getting like deep with each
Right.
other, but those little things of just people stop trying. It's just like a thing that
Yeah.
happens. And like you got to keep that spark
Oh
alive.
yeah. Oh
It's a
yeah.
lot of work.
It is. It's a lot of work, but it is so fun and amazing. I want to live in the honeymoon phase
No, she's in
forever.
the honeymoon phase
I
right
am.
now, and
Can
I'm
you
so
tell?
jealous. So jealous. Another comment says, absolutely. I have a theory. I don't have facts to support it, but I think a lot of men are socialized to think that they're the main character and that it's
Ooh.
okay to diminish us so they can shine.
Mm.
Fewer women are dating, fewer women are getting married, more women are filing for divorce. The data that is out there says that women are less likely to seek out or stay in relationships right now. I think we quit tolerating shit. I think
Yeah.
we value our autonomy and our relationship has to uphold it or we're out. And I don't think my generation of men has necessarily caught up. The men who have figured it out are often less available.
I love this theory and I agree. I mean,
Yeah, if you
in the
think
history
about
of
it.
time, yeah, men have always been like, we're the main character. The women are just the sideline,
Mhm.
characters that are sweeping and cooking and doing
And
this and
even
blah,
if
blah,
they
blah, blah,
weren't,
blah.
they rewrote history to reflect that.
Totally. And there's a lot of intimidation, I feel like, with women who are give that main character energy and that vibe. A lot of men are very intimidated by that and are like, step back, or they want to control you to make you not that and
Mhm.
make sure that you know that they're the main character, which is disgusting.
And a lot of men are also intimidated by a strong woman
Right.
who makes more money than them, but that's a whole other
Yes.
episode. We could
Yes.
talk about that. All right, so this is two sides to every pancake.
Whoa! Yeah, baby.
And we can thank Kenzie for that
Yes.
segment title.
My grandma used to say that there's two sides to every pancake.
Mhm.
It's the cutest.
Let's get into the first side. So this is from The Guardian. You guys know I love this. It's called You Be the Judge. Let's start with the prosecution. Darren. My girlfriend Margaret absolutely loves flowers. We met on an app and her profile said something like, "Red roses make me happy." I brought red roses for her on our third date because I wanted to impress her. Obviously, she loved them and we've been together for 3 years. Ever since, she's always trying to get me to buy her flowers. On birthdays or anniversaries, she gets annoyed if I don't. Margaret's love language is gift giving, with a special emphasis on flowers and jewelry. Same.
Me
Weird.
too.
But I can't do that all the time. I think it makes the relationship more special when you do things on your own accord. I like to show love with my words and quality time, so I think arbitrary acts of romance, such as buying things, are a bit shallow. Margaret says I've dropped my standards since we got together, but that's not true. I don't think it's practical to expect the same thing all the time. These gestures mean less, too, if they're not spontaneous or things that I've decided to do in my own right. Besides, I show my love in other ways. This year for her birthday, I got us tickets to a nice rooftop bar and a show, but Margaret still mentioned the lack of roses.
Love Margaret.
She said I should set up a flower delivery service on direct debit so I will never forget.
Margaret is a woman who knows what she wants. Okay?
She's an icon.
Yeah.
I know she would like flowers from me every week, but I'm just not that guy. I don't even like flowers, if I'm honest. They represent death, serve no point, and are inherently depressing. The second
Oh.
you buy them, you're counting down the days until they die. You have to cut the stems, rearrange them, water them, and get the plant food. Then 3 days later, they start wilting. It's just so much effort for temporary beauty. Flowers are a scam, as are so many other aspects of modern romance. We've argued about this a few times. I think we should focus on trying to show our love in ways that benefit both of us, such as having more fun dates. I'd be happier to spend my money on that instead of wilting roses that cost 20 pounds a dozen.
Huh.
Well, as we were just saying,
Uh,
sometimes the romance goes away after a few years.
exactly. And you got to keep it up. And it's flowers, honey. And even though you have a weird little thing about them and, you know, you think they represent death, Margaret loves them. And she's made that clear as day, sweetie.
What is the problem with wanting to celebrate people the way
Right.
that they receive love?
Exactly.
Have you ever heard of the term love languages?
Yes, because hers is gift giving and she has a specific gift.
In mind. And I'm
Right.
sorry, flowers are pretty reasonable. What if she was asking for diamond necklaces every
Exactly.
time?
And they're cheaper than tickets to a show, I'm sure.
Well, that's what pisses me off about what he says at the
Yeah.
end is I think we should try focusing on stuff that benefits us both. That's
That's
not
for
what
you
a
then.
gift
Yeah, that's not a
is.
gift. Then that's for you.
That's not a gift. I understand if it was, I get it if it was an anniversary, like, yes, you both deserve to be
Right.
celebrated there. But if it's her birthday, it's literally for her birthday. You got tickets to a rooftop and a show. This ain't about you.
Yeah, no, not at all.
This is not
sweetie.
about you
No.
and what you want.
No, and you knew that from the beginning. It said clear as day on her dating profile app.
Literally. You should have swiped right then, babes.
Exactly. It says it right there. Red roses.
And I actually saw a TikTok a couple months ago
Tell us about
that
it.
was intriguing to me
Mm.
because they were basically saying, is a trip or a night out, I guess,
Yeah.
is that a gift? Or
No.
do you also need a physical present?
I had a previous relationship where there were not many gifts, and gifts are my love language as well. But there are all these trips. But you're coming along with me on these trips. We're going together. It's not just me enjoying, you know, paradise.
Yeah, yeah.
Like him sitting back, like, are you enjoying this gift? It's like you're right here with me.
Are you enjoying
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
But he is paying for it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Did he pay for the whole thing?
for the most part, yeah.
But would he normally? Say it was not your birthday, how did you guys
Yeah,
do trips?
typically it was, you know, if I wasn't working, then yeah. I still like gift gifts. you
Yeah,
know?
physical.
Yeah.
But also isn't a show. Like say it was a show. So it's like you would need a trip and then because physical gifts aren't always a thing. Like it doesn't
Right.
always have to be a material item to be considered a gift.
Right.
So a gift could be, say he bought you a massage on top of that.
Okay.
Would that work?
Yeah, that would work. I know that it may be selfish, but like a gift, I want it to be mine, my thing, you know, like my shirt, my ring, my this, whatever. If you get us a trip, that's for us.
Now say it was anniversary.
Okay, then that's when you do like a trip or tickets to a show that you both
Because
like.
it's for both of you.
Right.
But what if it's a show that is your favorite band?
I'd want to go with my girlfriends.
Heard that.
You know, I'd have more fun. I think
so.
Sorry.
It's like if he bought you tickets, like you and a girl.
Yeah, like if he got us tickets to Fleetwood Mac, I'd be like, that's so sweet, but I'm gonna go with someone who likes them as much as I do. I'm gonna have a way better time.
Yeah. What if he wanted to come? Is that still not a gift?
You can go with your friends.
So you just don't want him involved at
I mean,
all.
it depends on like, you know, but I'm speaking on this because I used to do this in my very first relationship. I'd always get like for his birthday or whatever, I'd get us like tickets to something and it was selfish on my part because I wanted to go. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So it was less about like, here's this for you and your buddies. Here's, you know, here's like a cool new outfit just for you. Like I would even do things like your gift is we're going to go shopping together.
And you're gonna buy me things.
Yeah.
And I'll buy you one thing.
Yeah. You get one thing, but we're going to do it together.
But it should be your gift because my presence is your
gift.
present.
Exactly. So
what are you complaining about?
Exactly.
No, because well, here's an example. A couple years ago got Max. His favorite band is Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Okay.
and I got
Love.
him floor seats at SoFi,
Amazing.
and I made sure that we got like the front row of our section, and then like the corner because I know he can get like a little claustrophobic. He doesn't like
That was
So I was being
thoughtful.
thoughtful.
Yeah.
But I also got to go, and I do like Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Right.
but they're not like they're not like in my top anything.
Right.
But I enjoy their music. But
Yeah.
is that not a proper gift because I went?
Well, ask yourselves that. Would he have had a better time with like a guy friend, you think? Or you?
No.
Yeah, guys are different like that. They have fun with us.
Yeah, they like want to spend time with us. It's
All,
weird.
it's weird all the time.
I mean, I get it.
We get it. Because we're not trying to dim your light.
Exactly. Amen. There you
See,
go.
that's it.
Period.
That's it. Period.
I just don't understand like this is just not the hill to die on.
It's flowers, bruh.
It's literally flowers. And listen, I understand because I am not like the biggest flower girly. Like I think they're beautiful and I love having them around the house, but it is a little bit of a hassle. I mean, I'm literally looking at dead flowers right now and I love them. They're gorgeous. But
shout out whoever got them.
Whoever gave them to me, please. I love them. I'm very, very grateful. Disclaimer, beep, beep, beep. But there is always, it's like, oh shit, I got to take care of this now. Like they're dead now. And actually I do like wilted flowers. Like I literally will,
exactly.
I'll put roses in an old vase and I do like them, but there is a little bit like, okay, now I do have to, because they start getting moldy. And you do have to change the water. So I understand all that. I personally would always like a treat. Get me a box of donuts, please.
But that's for you. I think it's the act of giving something for
that
you. Yes, that they like. Like if I like something, get it for me all the time. It's not that hard.
It's not that hard. Again, she's not asking for diamonds.
No, it is so simple to make a woman happy with these kind of things. Like if you just show up one day and it's not the birthday, not the anniversary, you bring flowers, it goes such a long way.
It's not that hard. And also there are cheap ones at the grocery store.
Exactly. You take off the little cheap tag.
Exactly.
Pro tip.
I mean, I guess roses are more, but it also, I guess she does love roses. But you can't just get her any cheap old grocery store.
Yeah.
But again, if it's 20 pounds, I mean, what is that? That's like $30. But still, that's not a lot.
Yeah, why are you bitching about this? Exactly. Come on.
But does she want them at other times too?
No,
she just wants it for the nice occasions,
exactly,
right?
Which is so okay on birthdays, anniversaries. Okay, cool.
And it wouldn't hurt you to give them to her every now and then the rest of the year. Like 2 other times in the year, you would get laid.
Literally, instantly.
You don't understand that you would get laid.
Yeah, come on, buddy. So simple.
Get it through your head,
please, for us.
Well, should we read her defense?
Well, we are clearly.
We already defended you, Margaret.
Margaret, we're on your team. Yeah. Flowers seem to really trigger Darren, and I'm not sure why. When we first got together, he was really keen to buy them for me, but over the past 3 years, he seems to get annoyed whenever I remind him that I like them. Flowers are just lovely. They brighten up a room and they remind you of the gifter. Darren is considerate in many ways, but if I drop hints that he should get me roses for my birthday, he'll say, I don't want to feel forced into it. I think that if you know what makes your partner happy, you should try to do that to keep the spark alive. For example, I know that he loves it when I cook him a meal. Me being caring through acts of service is how he likes to love to be expressed. I like that as well, but I also love thoughtful, tailored gifts. A year ago, Darren got me a personalized gold bracelet and some roses for our 2nd anniversary. I thought that was really special, but now he likes to buy me things we can do together. He will get us a voucher for a spa weekend or a date night to the theater. While I appreciate these things, I also think it's a little selfish, because those presents involve him, yes. He thinks roses are pointless because they die quickly, but I like them, so it shouldn't really matter. When it was my birthday recently, I made a point of asking for flowers, and I was a little annoyed when I didn't get any. Darren says he forgot because he was planning this theater night, but I don't believe him. My suggestion that he sign up to a flower delivery service was born of frustration. If he did that, I'd never be disappointed. He says a delivery service will take all the fun out of romance, but I think he's just being stubborn. My friend said Darren and I are incompatible because we have very different love languages. I don't think that's true, as everything else is generally good, but I don't really get why he's dragging his heels with this one thing. I wonder if he had an ex who used to make him buy flowers or something. He says he doesn't, but I've never met anyone who is so opposed to the concept of flowers. But this also is funny because it goes back to light attracting dark, where she thinks flowers are bright and amazing and everything. He's like, they die quickly. So why are we attracting these people that are so different than us? But also, relationships like this can work if you clearly say, hey, I like flowers, you know, which she's doing, and he could just agree to it.
But he's
really
not dying on this hill.
Yeah.
Like her friends saying that they're incompatible because their love languages are very different. Well, I think that I would wager to bet that almost every couple have different love languages.
Always.
You just have to learn what their love language is to
exactly
give them what they need.
Right.
And also, I think that you don't even know your own love languages until you get into a relationship.
Absolutely.
Or I mean, I haven't really been in that many relationships, so you tell me, but do you think that relationships, like your love languages, change based on who you're dating?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do. I think, and also it could be because their love language is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, how you give it will definitely change.
Right. Absolutely. And like, I mean, mine's been pretty standard. It's gifts. Yeah. And then words of affirmation, like physical touch and everything else. I'm like, oh, whatever. Just give me
tell me I'm pretty.
Tell me I'm pretty, give me diamonds, and that's it. No, but then with new relationships, I like new things, which is very interesting.
Well, because also you're like you're probably receiving it in a way that you hadn't gotten it before.
Right.
Because I do think that with love languages, you shouldn't lose how you naturally give, because you shouldn't just all of a sudden like change your entire personality and cater to exactly how they want it, because you might give them something that they don't even know that they love. And you know, I could say I want all of these things, but when Max is giving me X, Y, and Z, you know, it's just different because that's how he shows his love for me.
Right.
So I think that it is nice to do a little bit of both. So I like that he is like taking her to shows and doing experiences together, because that is really at the end of the day, like, yeah, material items are amazing. I love them.
Me too.
Okay. Let's just put that out there.
Yeah.
But experiences are really what like life is about.
Absolutely.
I love my purses, but they're just more than half the time, 90% of the time, they're just sitting in my closet.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, if I'm gonna pick between going on like a weekend trip where we're experiencing fun times together, that probably is better at the end of my life. I'm gonna be like, you know, if I only ever chose the material items, we'd be like, well, fuck, now what?
But you'd have a ring and a couple bags.
But I have
to look at, you know?
Bags, honey.
Yeah,
just bury me in them.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need experience. No, I'm kidding. But the one thing I will say with Margaret, the delivery service is a little bit crazy, because then it's not spontaneous and it's, you know,
then you
how
are like
boring.
Kind of
then you are,
them,
that's a little bit forcing, like, and that's so you're gonna know when you're getting flowers every
Yeah, it kind of is like when you're forcing someone to do something, it loses its magic, because you're like, well, fuck, like, I want you to want to do this. I don't want to like
That's
make
so
you
women.
do it.
Yeah. I want you to want to know that I want you to do this, and I want you to want to do it.
Exactly. I don't see the issue here.
No.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get that. And I get that he doesn't want to be forced into it, but then just do it.
Right.
What is the problem? She's asking. It's so easy.
So easy. And it's for her birthday. Like, aren't birthdays supposed to be about that person? Like, not you wanting to go to the theater together. She wants flowers. It's so easy. Like, and anniversaries, trips, and date nights and all that stuff is really great. That's for both of you guys. Birthdays are separate. Okay?
Yeah, anniversaries should be more about the gal anyway.
Yeah.
We need to be one.
Scratch that.
Scratch that.
You, for our anniversary, drop me off with my girlfriends, okay? so I can have a good time.
And then pick us up.
And then pick us
That
up.
can be your gift, is you're our
Yeah.
Uber driver for the night.
And you get to be our presence and our audience for the show that we're going to put on. And you're not going to dim our light.
Exactly. Wow.
Happy anniversary.
I'm going to do that next year. You want to come?
Yeah, I'm there.
Put on
Are you
performance?
kidding? Max, sit down.
Well, let's see what the people had to say.
Yeah.
Should Margaret wake up and smell the roses? Nelson, 32, says, I am a man who doesn't like flowers either, but clearly Margaret does. I think Darren should sign up for the regular flower delivery. Margaret prefers regular flowers to event gifts. It is unhelpful to show affection in a way your partner doesn't truly appreciate. That's true too. Like, because as much as I was saying events are great, sometimes I do just want a pretty present.
Yeah.
So like it is good to like switch it up every now and then.
Right.
But I'm sorry, flowers can always be involved.
It's pretty simple.
That's like the appetizer to the gift.
Exactly.
That's not even the gift. That goes along with the card. Get her a little something else too.
It goes a long way. Like someone bringing me coffee in the morning. If you bring me my coffee in the morning, it's like
forget it.
Oh
like
my
spread.
God, literally. We are open for business.
She's caffeinated and she's ready to go.
Let's go, baby. And it's little things like that.
Now, you want that every morning?
Yes. Is that too much to ask?
Margaret's asking this twice a year, and Kenzie wants some in 3, 6, 5, baby.
Coffee in bed every morning to start my day.
I love this. See, this is how in my next relationship.
So listen.
This is how I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be such a bitch. No one's gonna want to date me. There's no relationship.
Oh, no, never mind.
I'm just gonna put that in my dating profile. So Tim 58, so we got a different generation chiming in here. He goes, Darren has known from the beginning that she likes flowers.
Smart man.
It would require so little effort to please her with a nice bunch every now and then. Excuses about it not coming naturally are no more than excuses. Why risk your relationship for such petty obstinacy?
I knew we were both going to struggle on that word. I'm not the only one.
As the flowers representing death thing.
Dot. Yeah. Okay, Rick.
Let's see what a lady has to say. Sasha 54 says, Darren needs to get over his floral phobia and speak to Margaret in her language. That should put an end to the hints that appear to annoy him and keep the cooked meals coming. For Margaret to do that? No, I'm kidding. Okay, so we're on Margaret's side, obviously. Yeah. I think there's nothing too much to say, right?
No.
I think at the end of the day, you just need to show it for people in the way that they would appreciate being shown up for. Because otherwise, you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for them.
And everyone has little annoying things that they like, like for me, I like my coffee brought to me in the morning. That's probably annoying for, some people. Some guys like, what do they want from me? I'm trying to think, of something like flowers that a guy likes, that I'm like, ugh, that's
head.
Well, yeah.
Let's move on, shall we? We are Team Margaret, baby.
Yeah, all the way. Buy her flowers.
I have a couple of girlfriends who always talk about their toxic boyfriends and keep getting stuck in the same cycles and then come to me to vent about it, just to go back to said boyfriend as soon as they start acting right again.
This is me.
Why do you think I chose this one?
Perfect.
I'm talking years of the same patterns here. I go back and forth on how to approach the situation because I want my friends to feel supported, but it's also very draining when you hear the same issue over and over again, and it doesn't seem like they want a solution. I'm of the mindset that either you fix the problem as long as it's in your control or accept the realities of the situation, but don't keep bitching about it. Last night, one of my friends was venting for the umpteenth time about her boyfriend's current excuse for being AWOL, and having tried to be understanding many times, I finally had it and said, well, that's life. Things don't always go as planned, in response to the lame excuse he had for needing a mental break from her. I could tell she didn't agree and was a little put off by my response, as I'm usually pretty empathetic to try to validate my friends as much as possible. but I have been trying to make an effort to stop problem solving for other people and focus on myself. I'm thinking of distancing myself from these friends as they don't seem to want to grow, but are comfortable in toxic situations. And I'm someone who is really into personal development, but I
Mm.
can't help but feel guilty as these friends have been very supportive and kind to me when I've gone through difficult times in the past. So, the reason why I chose this one is there were
Why?
many years,
Why did you
many
choose this one?
years in which I was OP. Because this little cutie sitting next to me was in a very toxic relationship.
We love toxic. Not anymore.
And you're really trying to convince yourself of
Yes,
that.
I am. I am.
It was very broken record-ish, I will say. I think after a while, you kind of don't get as invested anymore, I suppose, because it does start becoming like this is a trend.
Right.
And so I think like at first when you would like call me and be like, oh my God, we broke up again. I'd be like, oh my God, like if
Yeah.
you need somewhere to come, like blah, blah. And I think I would still always offer that. But I think I just didn't take it like as seriously as like time went on
Yeah.
because it's kind of like, oh, well, like you're probably just going to get back together.
Exactly.
And I think it was sometimes a little draining, you know, putting all your effort into like, okay, let's
Helping.
figure out how to like get you out of this situation. And then it's like they go right back to you and you're like, oh my God. But
Right.
also you need to be there for your friends because as you were saying, there's times that you go through stuff and you need them.
Exactly. Well, and it's on this side of things, you know, I knew that she was getting over it. And so then when it gets really bad, is when you don't say anything at all, you know, like when you,
Yeah.
because then
you're
that's when I went deep
embarrassed.
down into the depths of hell and the psych ward. Another topic, but you know, because then I knew that I had used up my friends for their resources and their help because it was the same shit over and over and over again.
Oh no.
And then,
So
but
you felt
that's
like you
true.
couldn't reach out to
No,
people?
and that's I think what happens because, but also it's my own doing because I didn't listen to any of the. It was almost just like me talking and being, you know, it becomes very selfish of the person that's doing that.
venting.
Yes.
I mean, I get it because you want to talk it out and you
Right.
you want your friends' advice, but then it's like
Take it.
you're never taking it. So then it's like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
like it would get to a point where I'd be like, I don't know what else to say. Like I
Yeah.
truly, she's never taking my advice.
No.
And
You should have just given me the opposite advice. I would have done that.
duly
Be like,
noted for next time.
yeah, literally. My parents have said that to me. They're like, we're gonna just start telling you what we you know, and then you'll do that. What we don't want you to do.
Yes.
You should have been like, just stick it out. It's such an amazing relationship. It's so great. Just
Like actually,
wait,
I think I need to leave tonight.
exactly. Now we know for future.
Yeah. Perfect. But yeah, I feel like it can be draining, but that is sad that I guess it does in a way become a little bit like the boy who cried wolf.
It does.
A little bit
yeah.
because then that makes me sad that you felt like you couldn't reach out to your friends then.
Yeah, I mean, but it was looking back, it was my own doing, you know, like, and I'd call friends and they'd be like, oh my God, Kenzie, again? Like, this is ridiculous. And it was embarrassing. It was honestly embarrassing because, you know, but I should have taken your advice and just left the situation and gone through the hardships the very first time. It would have saved me so much pain in the long run.
Yeah, it's so much easier said than done.
Oh, yeah. And it's
so much easier.
an addiction. It's like the toxicity becomes an addiction. That's for sure.
Yeah, because I feel like love in itself is already a drug.
The strongest.
But then once you are like both parties are playing like this game of cat and mouse kind of, then it's even more of an addiction because you just want their approval so bad.
Right.
Or like you just want things to be good too.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
Yeah, times when Max and I have been in a bad place, it's like that's just like the worst feeling in the world.
Takes over your whole world.
I'd rather be in a fight with anyone else in the world except for him, but he's the one I fight with the most.
Exactly, of course, because you love the most in those relationships. They hurt the most when they're, I wish I could find a balance with relationships because I'm all or nothing.
Yes, back to back to back. Relationship.
No, I had a break in between.
She did a few months.
I did a few months. A few days.
Do
you think that you should be the one to distance yourself, or do you think that that is, you know what I'm saying?
Like the duties of the friend.
Yeah. Like, what are your duties as a friend when this is continually coming back to you?
I mean, it is also, it sounds like it's more than one. This is like a couple of girlfriends. So it
Yeah.
sounds like it's at least two of these toxic boyfriends. I guess if it's just always monopolizing the conversation, that can
Right.
be like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
like, can we talk about anything
Yeah.
else? So I can see how that
Boundaries.
can be really draining. And plus, like, yeah, you don't like their partner. So it's like, I don't ever even want, I don't want to be around you then either. And I
Right.
don't like it. It hurts me to see you getting hurt all the time. But I do understand needing to protect your peace. And then it sounds like you're not really having a good time with them
Yeah.
either. I think there is a way to pull back and just like
Right.
maybe say no to some dinners sometimes if it's really starting to get to the point where you're not even having a good time at
Yeah.
all.
And set your own boundaries. Just be like, hey, okay, we can talk about this once. This is great. You know, I'm going to give you my advice, but don't take
Yeah.
any more from me. Okay. Because you're not going to
You're
take
not going
it.
to take it. And yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they can sit down and say that.
Yeah.
Be like, okay.
I would respect that more and be like, okay. And then actually, you know, really only go to them when I needed advice, because I know that it's not just going to be ever flowing, because that's not fair. That's not
Yeah. Cause there is a difference between like seeking advice and
right.
just like trauma dumping on somebody,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
because that I feel like that is probably what it ends up feeling like,
Yeah.
because it is like, what do you need from me right now? Like, you know how like therapists tell you to say when
Right.
you're about to, when someone's venting to you, of like, okay, do you want advice? Do you just want to
Be
someone?
heard.
Yeah, exactly. So like maybe it can be that where you start
Right.
saying that, because it's like, I do feel like I have given you the same advice over and over again. And for some reason, like you're not hearing it or you're not taking it or
Yeah.
you're not choosing to. So like, I'm happy to like let you vent for
This
20
amount of time.
minutes,
Yeah.
but my advice is going to be the same.
Yeah.
And I get it with this one. It's a cycle that blah, 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 like keep going and going and going and going. But I feel like if somebody is in a period of their life, like one of my friends is in a really intense, like awful period of her life with her relationship. And it's like, I'm happy to hear her out
Right.
every
Right.
time,
Right.
because like it's actively happening and like they're trying to figure out. I mean, she wants to get back together and then he doesn't want to, like, and it's happening right now. Now, if this were to happen a year from now, this is going on for like a year, I'd be a little
That's
bit like,
when,
okie
right.
dokie.
A
Like,
little bit time to
yeah, like we
wrap it
need to
up.
start now. We need to like really take
Right.
steps to getting over this because
Exactly.
you just cannot seem to walk
Yeah.
away.
Right.
Yeah, just distance yourself and be honest, I guess. Because I guess your comment was a little passive aggressive or, you know, like a little bit dismissive. And so you saw that she was a little put off by that.
Right.
But I definitely don't think that you're in the wrong for.
And just set your boundaries and be super clear. Be like, hey, I've been giving you this advice over and over and over, and it's taken a lot of energy from me, and I'm over it in a nice way.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
I'm
over
fucking
it.
over it, but just say that with, you know,
Someone here says
a
here,
little over it.
I'm in the same situation and tired too. Maybe point out to them how they've been walking in circles and how it hurts to see the same patterns
Yeah.
over and over again. If this keeps happening, you have all the right to say that you don't want to hear about that anymore, as you've already gave your opinion and changed subjects.
Mm.
I get that too, but it's also like that does feel so dismissive and like, you know, getting into a situation like you did where it's like then you maybe felt like you couldn't reach out to your friends anymore. And to be fair, I know it seems like a cycle that keeps happening and happening. It's like, but every situation is different. So I think it is nice for you to be able to hear your friend out about what happened this time. Because otherwise, like, then they're just going to get potentially like stuck in a situation
Yeah.
where they feel like they can't go to anyone but the
Right.
guy who like might be abusing them.
Right. Right. That's when things get bad.
Because they probably feel like they can't talk to their parents about
Nope.
it. Or even maybe even their siblings, because they
Right.
want, because a lot of times you want your family to like your partner, and then when you start bad mouthing them, then there's all of
Then
that.
that's a hard thing to ever get out of.
So I don't think that it's good to just like ghost her at
Yeah,
all, but
no.
maybe having an open conversation about it and just being like, It really is very like broken recordish. I don't want to see you keep hurting. I'm scared for you or
Yeah.
whatever. I worry about you. Please look me in the eyes, shake her
Right.
shoulders and be like, let's do something.
Exactly.
I don't know. OP responded to that comment saying, I've tried guiding them to this realization by saying things like, he always makes the same excuses. At what point are you going to walk away? But they always go back. But yeah, I'll have to make a point of not getting involved in the future. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's so hard.
It's a really tough situation.
Someone else says, it's important to accept that some people just like to vent. The important thing to decide is how much you want to participate in the venting, as well as accepting that sometimes being a really good friend is telling someone, yeah, this is a toxic relationship. It's not a shock that you guys need a break. Sort of like when you tell a friend a dress doesn't look good on her. If it's a friend that is close enough that you'd tell the truth about an outfit, you should be able to tell the truth about emotions.
That's true. And if you can, I let friends vent a lot, and sometimes I just have the phone on and I'm just doing my own thing and because
when
some
it's
of
going
them,
on for too long or
yeah,
something?
they just they keep going and you're like, okay, cool. Don't even let you respond. And sometimes they just want to get that out for their own sake,
Yes. Totally. But also sometimes the tea is so piping
So
hot.
I love when
But then
there's,
after a while, it's like, okay, okay.
if the tea has already happened like the second time, it's like, okay,
Heard it already.
Already heard that. Next.
Changing the channel.
Thank you. Next.
Someone else says, instead of fading, tell them you are torn. You care and want to be supportive, but are not their therapist. And all they are doing is venting and not making changes, and you are burnt out. Listen, I was doing the same thing to a friend 20 years ago, and she told me that, and it woke me up. I respected what she had to say, and I realized what I had been doing. Yeah, I mean, they might not even be like, open to hearing it. And also, if these two friends that are bitching about it are our friends too, like this is a friend group, if they are friends, let them just fucking vent to each other and give each other toxic advice.
Exactly. You guys go hang out together.
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to this cute boy at the bar. Yeah. You guys can keep talking about your loser ass boyfriends.
Enjoy.
Well, yeah, I think that making a point of that you're not your therapist.
No.
All right. Well, we are clearly on your side, babes.
Yeah, we are.
Now, I have a little segment that I want to do here.
Okay.
And it is called Am I the Drama?
Oh.
And I'm going to share something from this week where I'm like, I think I'm the drama.
I love that. I'm always the drama, honey.
So this weekend, I was in Fort Worth, Texas.
I've always wanted to go there.
Oh my God, you would fucking love it.
I would love it. I see it on Yellowstone a lot. They go there for the stock, whatever.
Yeah.
That's where you went?
Yeah, Stockyards, Fort Worth. Well, first of all, we went there for a concert that are my favorite band from high school. They're really small. They're called The Rocket Summer. They're kind of like emo alternative, but almost like fucking theatrical too. He's this very theatrical guy, and the music's very Broadway kind of vibes when I'm dancing to it. And it just brings me right back to, my teenage years.
Yeah.
So that's how we ended up in Fort Worth, because I was on the cruise when he was in LA.
Okay.
So I was the closest place to go is Fort Worth. And so Max and I just made a weekend of it. I was on the cruise for my birthday. So we were let's make this my birthday trip.
Love that.
Speaking of birthday trips.
Yeah.
It's this total Western town. I fucking love Western towns so much. We went to the rodeo the one night. Oh my God. They are American
Texas.
pride. We're standing up. We're singing the national anthem. We're singing, I'm proud to be an American, for at least I know. I'm belting it out of the top of my lungs. I'm you know what? Maybe I do bleed blue.
Yeah.
I need a gun.
Yeah,
I literally was I'm switching sides now. I was
Texas,
loving
baby.
my life.
Yeah. It'll do that to you for sure.
I'm I really wish that the whole Western cowboy vibes could also be a democratic thing.
That would be great.
Can we have some goddamn American pride on our side?
Nope. I know, because I love cowboy culture. I mean, I'm a cowgirl.
It's the best. I know.
Yeah.
She's from Denver. We went to I went there last year, and we were wearing our Western. We were wearing our cowboy boots, our cowboy
hat. We went to
hat.
a proper Dive Hick bar in Golden, Colorado. We had a great time.
I love it. And my dad is a huge cowboy fan, so it's in my blood.
It's in her blood.
But I'm like, I'm about to sell my uterus to the government. I don't give a shit. I was literally talking in an accent. I'm like, this is my home now.
She's moving to Fort Worth, y'all.
Yeah.
The drama's going to Fort Worth, Texas.
I was
See you
so
later,
jazzed
LA.
up though when we were singing "I'm proud to be in America." There was like fireworks going.
I can just picture you too. That's the actresses in us that we're like, we go to any town and we're like, yep, I'm
just
gonna move here.
assimilate, yeah.
So this is where I'm living. Every other characteristic we have goes out the window. This is me in every new city, every single city. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna live in Miami now. So New York next.
Yeah. We just want to play characters, you know?
All the time.
So am I the drama? Because the night of the concert, I get there really early. I almost never get to any concerts early, but I wanted to get like a front row seat. We get like second row. It's all standing room, but we get like second row. And like the diehard fans are there at the front. Like they're, you know, on the bar. And they're like a Tumblr fan group or something. I'm like, I never heard of this, but apparently there was like a fan group for him in the Tumblr scene back in the day. Yeah. I'm like chatting with them. They're giving me like bracelets with the letters on them, and they're really sweet. We're waiting there for like an hour before the opener starts, which I will get to that in a second. We get there at like 7:10, and then at like 7:45, one of the fangirls, one of their friends, because they're all there alone. They just come and they meet up with the other fan girl and boy, whatever. She's like, oh, hi. And she like runs up to them. And then Max is going to get water, and he comes back and she just took his spot. And so I guess we should have just right away said like, oh, like, excuse me, we're kind of standing here. But then Max and I were like, okay, whatever. And we just sort of like crowded together a little bit. And then as the opener starts or whatever, then these other two girls stand in front of me. So I'm like sandwiched in between these girls in front of me and then like this other girl who kind of like came and took Max's spot. And Max and I have like 2 square feet of room to stand in, basically. And I'm standing in front of him.
Tall.
I know, honestly. Well, that was the other thing. Was Max was like, I'm too tall to be like in the front. And like I'm tall too, obviously. And so I was like, oh, but honestly, I never do this. I never get to be in the front. I never like a band this much that like I like get there early and I'm like, whatever. At this point, like I'm gonna be selfish and I'm gonna like command more space for us. I get it that you're tall, but then I was looking around like there's other tall guys that are around too.
And everyone has cowboy hats on probably too, so it's
that's a whole other.
Like,
you can't be wearing hats at concerts, okay? I have a lot of etiquette that
even country ones.
I guess, but this wasn't country.
Okay, got it. Then no.
The opening act comes on, and this is my other Am I the Drama, because this is maybe a controversial opinion. I hate opening acts. And I know that opening acts I should be supportive of because they're up and coming artists and they need to get themselves out there. And if I was an artist, of course I'd be doing opening acts and I would hope for that. But I hate opening acts. Unless I know them. But I did not know these people, and I'm just standing there, and I'm like, my knees hurt.
The main act.
Get to the main act, please.
That's
like,
her main character energy. She's like, I don't relate to you guys. You guys are openers. Okay.
Literally. I came here an hour early. I flew here.
Lord.
And they were like, they weren't a Christian band, but they had that vibe of like a Christian rock band. And I was it was an hour. And I'm sandwiched between, I have no room. The girl is literally backing up into me. And so I'm trying to like move over a little bit, but then I'm sort of in front of the girl who like took our spot. But I'm also like, okay, but you took our spot. Somehow we ended up in the third row when we got there early to get there in the second row. And the whole time the opening act is on, I'm fuming. Oh, I'm just fuming. Jersey Girl is like, I'm about to like throw elbows. I'm not even joking. I was getting so mad. And I was literally like, Shannon, you need to breathe. You need to calm down because like I'm about to get into a fight right now.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm being so dramatic. This is insane. Like you can't, like how are you not getting your emotions into check?
Right.
Like get it together, please. So I was so mad at the opening act. They did nothing wrong. They're just trying to make a buck.
She's booing
Trying to make
at
a
them.
living. No, I literally had like a pouty face. I had like my arms crossed and a pouty face. Like,
No
move it
way.
along.
Oh.
Move it along. I was so mad.
No, babe, you're not the drama.
I'm like, look at me in the eye. Opening act,
Yeah,
look at me.
Do I look happy? Do I look
Do I look
happy? to
happy?
you?
You better not play another
Yeah.
encore song. Eventually, though, like once the opening act left, the girl who like took our spot, she kind of like scooted in front of us. And I was like, honestly, I'd rather you be in front of me than be like weirdly sandwiched. Like I had no room and I was getting
Yeah.
really claustrophobic. And so then once she moved in front of us, then I could like kind of take her spot and then Max and I could
Okay.
be next to each other.
Right.
So then I had more room.
Okay.
And then the girls, they kept backing up into Max, but it was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
He's just here to videotape me and enjoy me enjoying myself.
It's your birthday trip.
It's my birthday trip. So I finally had like room to dance and stuff. But then there was a part of me that was like, I was trying to be like very mindful of the girls behind me because I was like, I don't want to be the same thing that they're.
Right.
But I definitely was like dancing my ass off and stuff. But I was just like, whoo, girl, get your emotions in check.
Damn, honey. Who knew that would get you all ramped up?
Get triggered. And it was like I wanted everything to be perfect because like
Right.
I've never seen this band live. I'd always wanted to. It's been like 20 years that I've loved them. And so I was just very in my head about like trying to make it like perfect for me. And
Expectations.
yeah, my
too
expectations were
high.
too high. I ended up having an incredible time though. It was amazing. But if I was sandwiched between them, I would have been like starting to like push a little bit.
Yeah.
So am I the drama?
I'd have to say, yeah, you're the drama, Shan.
You're not even a little on the fence?
Just a little bit. Nope, I'm not on the fence at all. Just I picture her just like, okay, move.
Yeah.
You guys, this is my birthday trip. Max, film.
Max, film me.
Film me. You want to see me pout? And openers, get off, okay?
Opener, are you guys done yet?
Are you guys done yet?
I was literally giving them looks like,
But
okay,
no, babe,
let's
you're not the
move it
drama.
along.
You're not the drama.
Let's move it along. I was going like this with my hands, like,
Guys,
let's
okay.
wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Let's go. But no, babe, you're definitely not the drama.
But
You the drama, bitch.
I am proud that I really did keep a lot of it in my mind.
Yeah, you know what you did? You did a good job. You kept it a lot right here.
Right in here.
Just stirring.
Yeah, just stirring.
You're the drama, bitch.
I'm the drama. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
And me.
I was talking to you.
You're welcome.
And thank you guys for joining us.
Yes. We've had a ball.
Remember to rate, review, subscribe, honey. And also follow on Instagram because every episode we usually end up talking about things, and I say I'll add it to my stories. So I always put them on stories and then I've been making highlights of each episode. So if you catch this episode after I've posted that, you can always go to my highlight reels and that's where all of the little things will be.
And she has great polls. I've been loving the polls.
Thank you. Yeah.
Those are fun.
There's also a highlight reel of the polls too, but I'll put them up and tune in every Tuesday for a new episode. Spilling the tea every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
And Kenzie, tell them where to find you.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram for sure. LinkedIn. I'm just kidding. My Instagram is just my name, Kenzie Harr, at Kenzie Harr.
I'll put it in the show
subscribe,
notes.
follow.
Subscribe to her exclusive content.
Be a new hater. Troll me, bitch.
Troll me. The haters even,
No, but really, let's chat.
Let's chat. Are you like one
I've
of those
never done
late
one of
night
these.
phone sex women?
Yeah, you
Call
never know.
me.
Call me.
Let's chat. What do you like to do?
Catch me at D is for drama. I'm the drama.
Love you guys.
Okay.
And remember, you
Love
can't
you.
spell drama without D.
That's true.